welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it so very much. Welcome, my name is Aiden. I'm so happy that you are here because today is a 4 for 4. I'm so excited about this. It has been a couple weeks since I actually wore these palettes, but I've been dying to tell you about them because I'm getting ahead of myself. So before I start, if you haven't subscribed already, please do consider subscribing. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and leave me a comment. Have you tried any of these palettes? Is there a palette that you would like me to do in an upcoming 4 for 4? Let me know that down below as well. Let me know if you've tried these palettes and what your thoughts are. So this is another 4 for 4. In this, I wear a palette for 4 days. I try to wear as many different shades as possible, and then I come back here and I swatch all of the colors for you. I tell you my experience wearing the palette, ups and downs, positives and negatives, and then at the end I rank them and I tell you if I'm keeping them or if I'm decluttering them. Sometimes I declutter all of them, sometimes I keep all of them, sometimes it's a mixed bag. So I have 4 kind of palettes that I could wear while I was teaching. That was the goal with these 4. I wore them in my last 2 weeks of the school year, and then I took a little time off because I was just exhausted. So the first one I have up is Huda Beauty. This is the Rose Quartz palette. Yes, it's the newest of all of her palettes. Then I have the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette. Naked doesn't usually have a good feeling in this, or good track record in this series. I've decluttered all of my Naked palettes thus far. Let's see if that continues. Then I have the Clover palette from Too Faced. Classic. I've had it since it came out, and I've loved it. And then the Colourpop On A Whimsy. This was one of their holiday palettes from this past year. So we're actually going to start with the Colourpop On A Whimsy palette. This one, so the packaging on it is just darling. That has the horses on it, the carousel horses, and then it looks, you know, reminiscent of a fair. Inside, it does have a mirror because all of them have a mirror, and I've kept the plastic on it just because I feel like the light color is going to get discolored. I don't know. Inside, you have a lot of just neutral shades. You have some lights. You have a couple colors, pops of color in there, but you know, a really pretty much an everyday type of a palette. Not super versatile, but a good go-to. All right, so On A Whimsy has 12 shades. There are 5 shimmers and 7 mattes, so you kind of get a variety of shades in there. This is what they look like swatched. So as you can see, there's a couple shadows that don't want to like show up really at all. So like my second one, I guess you can kind of see it there, but it is very, very pale. This one did not swatch very well. That's actually a double swatch because the first one just was so light, and I was like, I gotta swatch it again. The glitters in here are not my favorite. They are kind of chunky, to tell you the truth. This first one here, So Ferris, it was just okay. It didn't have like a good pop to it. It just, same with Thrill Ride. They're just like, they look like they're going to be shimmers, but they don't really give you any shimmer. It's kind of like just kind of a chunky satin, if that makes any sense. This one, Deep Fried here, is so thick. It swatched really well, but it had so much fallout. I can still like see chunks of it on my arm, but like I blew on it and I just got all this gold everywhere. My favorite shade is actually this one right here. It was really pretty. This is this Taffy Much. That one was the highlight of all of the shimmers. The Cold Drink was just kind of blah, not quite as underwhelming as So Ferris and Thrill Ride, but it wasn't as good as Taffy Much, and Deep Fried was just too thick, and it didn't lay very well. It kind of globbed up on the eye, and I don't feel like it looked super pretty. And yes, so much stuff on the mirror. So this one was an okay palette. I didn't love it. I kind of liked it. I liked some of the light shades, like you could get a nice neutral look, but I would be basically using the same shimmer in every single look that I did, that Taffy Much, because the other ones just didn't perform very well, which was very disappointing. I mean, this was like, I want to say this was $18. So this is one of the more expensive Colourpop palettes, which is kind of disappointing. Like, you know, if you're going to charge more, I want more out of it. So this is definitely not one that I would recommend. I think it was fine, and I got it for like half price. So glad that I got it on sale and I didn't pay full price for it. All right, next up is the Too Faced Clover palette, and this one is kind of all over the place. I'm going to open it. I mean, first off, the packaging. Oh my gosh, so cute. It does have Clover on the back as well. And inside there is a nice mirror, and then you have, if you hear thunder, I apologize. So there is all of the colors. It looks like a colorful palette on first glance. Like when I first got it, I was like, oh, it's a colorful palette. And then I was like, you know, it does have some colors in it, but it really is a great mix of neutrals and colors. So I got like so many different looks out of this. You can get some really good everyday work looks. You can get some crazier looks. And I love this palette, like I've already said. So there is what all of the shades look like. There is, I gotta keep my face in it or else my camera like decides to change colors. So there is just so many colors in here. Yes, this first one is very, very light. It's probably my least favorite shade in the whole palette. It's just kind of like a very, not quite chunky. It's just an underwhelming shimmer. It's just, you know, it has a little bit of a presence to it, but nothing too exciting. I forgot to mention, it's basically a split of 9 mattes and 9 shimmers. Some of the shimmers are not, they're like different qualities of shimmer too. So a little bit more chunky is the purple and the white, more smooth. You got these ones over here. So good mix of mattes and shimmers in that Clover palette. Other than that though, I love the shades in here. Like I said, there's some great neutrals in here. It has like the blue brown shift type of a formula. You have this beautiful purple down here. You have the yellow. I love the yellow. I love the green. I love the blue in here. It's such a good versatile palette. This is a more expensive palette, and I'm not sure if it's still available. I need to look. Because this one, it retailed for $50 when it came out, $49.99, you know. But I think it is a great one, and I highly recommend it. I feel like the shimmers are really beautiful. Like if you look at this shimmer and this shimmer especially, like I just love that shimmer right there. It's so pretty. They work really well. They go on, they blend well. They perform really well. And yeah, this is one of my favorite Too Faced palettes for sure. I think this was a really great one. And I really enjoyed this era of Too Faced when they were doing like this and the Festival palette and the chocolate gold. They did some really great palettes in that time period. All right, next up is the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. This one, like the Clover one, forgot to say Clover was 18 pan, but this one is also an 18 pan. So you have 3 rows of 6. The packaging on this one is very pretty. It does really feel like a rose quartz. It's probably a little bit more elegant as people, if you don't like cutesy. I really like cutesy packaging, obviously, because of the other palettes. There's a good mix. There are 8 mattes and 7 shimmers, and then there's this one weird kind of gooey shade that I know everybody like kind of freaks out about. I just put my finger in it because I haven't used it, and it does feel like little hard bits in there, like it's dissolving in places, which I just think is so weird. Anyway, that's what it looks like. It's just kind of sheer on the skin. It has a little bit of a shine to it, but it's not one that I'd probably wear on its own. So with this one, there is a wide variety of shades. There are a lot of shimmers. It feels like this is more of a shimmer heavy palette, even though it's not when I just counted. There are some beautiful colors in here. I really love, you know, kind of the mauve-y purplish tones. The browns are have some nice tones to them too. But yeah, the shimmers really do steal the show. Like this one is super chunky. Like I can see flakes of it just right here, and flying off as we're speaking. So it is a beautiful palette. I don't know if I like this one more than the new nudes. I still think that might be my favorite Huda palette. I need to do another, kind of video on all of them. I know she's going to put out another one this year though, so maybe I'll wait and do another one late then. I really loved this palette. The mattes just go on so well. The shimmers are so shimmery, like they pack a punch. You're really going to feel the shimmers in here. The marbled ones are beautiful. The non-marbled ones are beautiful. I really enjoy them. I will say, like, this one almost looked like the marbling kind of showed on here. Can you see how it looks lighter on one side than the other? I don't think that's just, I mean, it's kind of hard from my angle to see right there, but oh, it is absolutely beautiful. It is one that I highly recommend. I do wait and get all of my Huda palettes at least when they are 20% off or more. I'm kind of mad because I used to like buy them every year in December when Sephora would send out like the 25 off of 75. These are $65, so I would get this and like a couple sheet masks, and it would really bring down the total. It was a much better deal than the 20% off. So I'm bummed that they no longer have that for Rouge. But yes, this one is beautiful. I would highly recommend it. But wait for a sale. Like, you definitely need a sale on these because they are pretty expensive. They're worth, like, I feel like the quality and the versatility of them is worth it. I love all my Huda palettes, some more than others, but this one is excellent. I think they just keep getting better and better. I might not like this color story quite as much as the new nudes, like I just said, but the quality is amazing on this one. All right, the fourth and final palette today is the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded. It does have orchids on it. It took me a while to figure out what these were supposed to be. It's just because they're so blown up. It's kind of, I don't know, hard to tell. And it, once again, does have a mirror. I did leave the, like, cover on the mirror. I usually do that if they have a cover. And inside you have 12 shades. They are pretty neutral. You have one that's a little bit more peachy, and then you just have a wide range of browns. You do have some lights and some mattes, some lights and some darks, and it is an even split of 6 mattes and 6 shimmers in here. This is what they all look like. So like I said, you definitely do have some lighter shades. They do make the lighter shades a little bit bigger so you can use them as a highlight, but I don't know, you can barely see the light shades on me. They are very, very light. I like this shade right there because it is that light type of a shimmer. I really love a light shimmer on my lid. Inner corner too. It's nice. There are some nice shades in it. This is definitely my favorite of all of the Naked palettes. I feel like it gives you the most variety of looks, and it's going to be the most versatile. I feel like all the other ones, it's just shades of the same, so it looks the same every day. I wish there was another lighter shimmer in here because it is kind of, I feel like, medium and dark heavy on the shimmers, and like I said, I like a lighter shimmer, but I do think it is nice. I am not planning to declutter this one, which is, I wondered about it going in, and I actually did an extra day on this one because I was like, it's been a while. I don't remember what my thoughts were, so I wore it again to see how I liked it. I like it. I think it's a good palette that I'll wear for work and stuff. It's not one that I'm going to be like, ooh, I want something really shimmery. No, that's not, I'm not going to reach into this palette. I'm going to reach in to my Huda for that, or even there's a couple really good shimmers in my Clover. But yeah, I like it. It's kind of the most boring, but in a lot of ways, that's kind of nice when you're trying to find something for work. And yeah, I think it's nice. Is it outstanding, spectacular, like really exciting? Not necessarily, but I think it's a solid palette and probably the best from this line that I have tried. Now for the ranking. I am not going to declutter any of these palettes, which is good, because sometimes it's a little disheartening when you're like, I don't really want to wear any of these, and I feel like bad that I've wasted my money. A lot of those usually are palettes that I got in subscription boxes though, so I have learned my lesson. I'm not doing as many subscription boxes anymore. In fourth place, I'm going to put the Colourpop On A Whimsy. And the reason why this one is going here is just because the shimmers in here are just so underwhelming. There's really only one that I enjoyed wearing. The gold one, like I said, was nice, but it was, why is it so, there we go. The gold one was okay, but it's so chunky on the lids. It didn't look super good. The other three shimmers I didn't really like, so I only really liked the one shimmer here. So it's going to be repetitive looks with that same shimmer, or, you know, bringing in another palette every time I wear it. So that is why it is in fourth place. In third place, I'm putting the Naked Reloaded. I was shocked. I thought this was going to be last. I like this one. I think it performs well. It lasts well. It's pretty easy to use. I like the mattes a little bit better in the Colourpop, formula-wise, not necessarily the colors. But this one, I think, is a good everyday palette, and it performs well, so it is in third place. In second place, I'm putting my Clover palette. I love this palette. This will always be a palette that holds a dear place in my heart. I love the colors. I love that this is a great travel palette for me too. I took it when I went to a conference before, you know, the year before all this went down, and you know, it was good for that. And when I had days off, I had a really colorful look as well with this, so I really like this one. I think the shadows work really well. Even though I've had it for a while, it's still performing really well. And that means in first place is the Rose Quartz palette from Huda. We're probably not surprised. We know my love for Huda. And the shades in here are really nice. You get a nice variety in here. Beautiful shimmers as well. And even though these are kind of foiled, like that gold one in the Colourpop, I feel like you can smooth these out a lot easier than that one. It didn't look good on my lids at all, and I don't think it looks good swatched either. So let me know if you've tried any of these palettes, what your thoughts and opinions are on them. Let me know how you're doing. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to talk to you next time. Bye.